Good evening and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Elizabeth Omori. The new president of Nigeria will be ushered in on May 29. Then the country can boast that it has successfully attained 7 consecutive transitions, reflecting on the past, present and the future. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday in this report takes a look at consolidating the gains of democratic governance in the country.
One can say that Nigeria's democratic journey began in 1999 with the emergence of the Fourth Republic, and since then, the nation has continued to inject initiatives that will continue to foster good governance, stability, and economic prosperity.
We can see that there is an improvement, and we have grown from one level of development to the other. We are definitely not where we used to be, even though we are not where we want to be. But we must look back and give God thanks for where He has brought us to.
Ibrahim Dasuki Arabi is the Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms. He said the nation has thrived in building strong institutions that support democracy in line with good governance and the rule of law, especially through the public service.
Between 1999 to date, we have translated public service reforms in Nigeria and brought up Nigerian public service to be among the leading public services in Africa. By the year 2025, we rank among the first 20 public services in the world.
If we can discover the strength in our numbers and see how we can put everybody's strength into use, where there are weaknesses, how can you use the strength in one part to cover up for the weakness in the other part, we are going to be stronger Nigeria.
Hashim Suleiman is a youth activist who believes in good governance. He told me the reason Nigeria must not fail as a democracy.
Democracies actually excel more when the critical institutions are functional. But you see, the institutions will not build themselves. It is Nigerians who will build these institutions, because it is Nigerians that are embedded in these institutions. So how ready are they? But democratically speaking, I think we have improved. I think people's voices are heard more. Those voices are able to shape certain decisions. You know, we're increasing in appreciating our democratic institutions like the judiciary, the National Assembly, and the rest of them.
One of my take-home messages from Suleiman is that Nigeria is getting better and stronger by the day. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And from governance, we move to health. Globally, cancer accounts for 1 in every 6 deaths and so remains a major cause of morbidity. Uche Ugochukwu reports that in an effort to close the gaps in the prevention, treatment and management of cancer in the face of inequality, specialists in cancer care gathered in Abuja to deliberate on prioritizing high-value care and de-implementing low-value practices amongst practitioners in Nigeria.
Having in mind that efforts at raising the standard of cancer care need to be knowledge-driven, these experts seated here are reviewing oncology practice in the past 10 years to decipher better ways to forge ahead.
The whole idea is to be able to ensure that our cancer care is patient-centered, really focusing on the needs and the demands of the patients to improve their quality of life and their outcome.
Oncology care in Nigeria is appraised to have improved in the past decade, but more the side needs to be done to increase survivorship, as testified by Gloria Oku, a cancer survivor.
Cancer is not a death sentence, and what I want to say to the government that please, they should improve the quality of care so that cancer patients can survive more.
In the area of nuclear medicine, a lot of efforts have been put in place. For the first time, the country is planning to have to get us our own cyclotron.
The forum is optimistic that the inclusion of HPV vaccination in the national immunization schedule will impact positively on prevention. Early diagnosis, they say, is key to chances of survival. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has inaugurated a reconstructed and re-equipped permanent site of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital, Nnewi, Anambra State. Minister of State for Health, Joseph Ekuma Nkama, who performed the ceremony, said it is in fulfillment of the promise of the Buhari administration to curb medical tourism to developed countries. Uchenna Nwekoyo reports.
The permanent site of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Teaching Hospital houses newly built and fully equipped 100-bed accident and emergency department and many other administrative and medical departmental structures still under construction. The Minister of State for Health, Joseph Ekuma Nkama, who inaugurated the hospital, stated that the Buhari administration has delivered on its promise of ensuring that Nigerians across the country have access to quality health care.
Today marks the day our vision of transforming Nayut to a medical megacity takes its root. And we thank God it is happening in our time. In the last 4 years, the health sector has received 100% budget funding. And this is what we see today.
We are providing support to all the 36 states of the Federation and FCT in implementing scientific SDG-based medium and long-term development planning.
The ceremony also featured foundation stone laying for the construction of Igwe Orizu International ICT Center within the hospital. From Nnewi, Uchenna Nwekoyo, NTA News.
To other developmental projects, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has commended Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku for the construction of 22 kilometers dual carriageway, which has engendered development and improved the aesthetics of Jalingo town. He said this at the inauguration of the project in Jalingo, Taraba State capital. Ben Hanya was there.
I'm quite impressed with the quality of work done, and I'm doing this commissioning to the glory of God.
The 22-kilometer dual carriageway from NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp to Bantinapo City Gate in Jalingo has 6 pedestrian bridges, a bridge across River Nuke, a flyover, street lights, and pedestrian walkways. Work on the project, which commenced in 2019, was executed at the cost of 34 billion naira. Former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan commended Governor Darius Dixon Ishaku, who was a minister under him, for the relative peace which is being enjoyed in Taraba State, which is an improvement over what the state witnessed during his stay in office.
So this road has brought beauty to Jalingo, and it will also expand the development. I've seen houses coming up along this road in the next few years, and let me congratulate the people of Jalingo, and also thank you for the peace of Jalingo and Taraba within this period.
Governor Ishaku appreciated the former president for the opportunity he gave him to serve in various ministries as minister, which prepared him for the task of governance of Taraba State.
I wish to also inform you that my administration funded all the road projects inherited from the previous administration and embarked on other new ones. Among the new ones is this 22-kilometer dual carriageway.
Former President Jonathan later laid the foundation for the construction of a trailer park in Bantinapo, in Jalingo. Bem Hanya, NTA News.
In deplorable conditions of many roads, especially in the rural areas across Zamfara State, have obviously constituted major obstacles to the efforts towards addressing insecurity challenges bedeviling the state, as it makes Quick response to distress call almost impossible. Some communities in Bukoyum local government area of the state can now heave a sigh of relief with a recent award of contract for the construction of Aurora Road in the area. Jamil Ibrahim has an update on the projects.
Construction of Gurusu Nasra Road in Bukhum local government of Zamfara West Senatorial District is a project that the teeming agrarian communities in the area have been yearning for within the past 3 decades. The recent award of the contract for the construction of the 7.5-kilometer road by the former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari Abubakar was hence greeted with extreme joy and accolades by the benefiting communities.
The difficulty we used to encounter while plying this road, especially during the rainy season, is better imagined. But thank God, we now have a sense of relief.
For the past 30 years, this road is no more trouble. Whenever it is rainy season, you have to try as much as you can before you can take anything that is more than 200 kg.
It is now the hope and fervent prayer of the benefiting communities that the more than 1.4 billion naira project, which also encompasses the construction of drainages, culverts and some bridges, will be completed before this year's rainy season sets in proper.
This is an important aspect of the project. It is a major bridge that was washed away by water some years back. It has now been reconstructed. It links more than 10 communities from this axis.
The representative of the contracting firm was not on ground to speak on the level of work done so far and the way forward. A reliable source assured that the project will be completed before the end of June this year. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now let's shift attention to telecommunications. In an attempt to safeguard more lives and means of livelihoods of Nigerians, the Public Complaints Commission is appraising the level of compliance by telecommunications with the institutional reform of linking up subscribers' telephone numbers to their personal national identification numbers. Charles Alpha tells us more.
In 2001, the federal government launched the Global System for Mobile Telecommunication (GSM) after deregulating Nigerian telecommunications sector (NITEL), while it's introduced other telecommunications network providers with massive subscribers keying into the new system. This is to make communications easier and improve the socio-economic spectrum of the people. Along the way, many giant strides were recorded, but insecurity and other forms of threats against the telecommunications sector began to surface. Consequently, the launching of institutional reforms on mobile network providers' compliance to a national identity number policy by President Muhammadu Buhari. How has this telecommunications outfit complied with this mandate is what the Public Complaints Commission is set to appraise at this symposium.
Everything that evolves around telecommunication spills over onto our own personal safety and security.
Substantially, all the telecom operators have complied with the system.
It is fitting, therefore, that we take stock of the journey so far with respect to implementation of the National Identity Policy for SIM registration.
Key actors here say the level of compliance is commendable, but want the acceleration and scaling up of a stronger national identity compliance database for all citizens for easy monitoring. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
With the conclusion of the 8-year two tenures of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, the Media Department of the State House has produced a 55-minute documentary titled Muhammadu Buhari Was Here. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the documentary, which showcases high points of the government, will air as follows. Channels Television, Sunday, May 21 at 6 p.m. NTA, Monday, May 22 at 8 p.m. and TVC, Tuesday, May 23 at 6 p.m. You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's head to Lagos, where Adiola is standing by with some reports for us. Adiola, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Elizabeth. Welcome to Lagos.
Lagos State government has set aside 11 days of various activities leading to the second term inauguration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu across the metropolis. This was disclosed by the Chairman Committee on Inauguration at a media interactive forum in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports.
With a focus to ensure greater Lagos rising, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu went into the March governorship elections and secured a second term in office. As residents count few days to the May 29 inauguration day, Chairman Committee on Inauguration Benga Motosho says various activities have been lined up in the 5 divisions of the state to commemorate the day.
The 3, 4, 5 will be for commissioning of various projects. The 7 will just be for the pre-inauguration day rehearsals. The 8, that is the big day, the inauguration day, 29th of May. Of course, that will be held at the Tafawa Balewa Square.
The Progressive Congress Lagos State chapter is also working with the committee to make the inauguration memorable.
The 4 years ahead, we continue to fight on the side of the people, constantly reminding the people who all graciously voted into office about our social contract and the need to commit to genuinely serving the people.
The inauguration committee stressed that provisions have been made to feature persons with disability to make the event all-inclusive. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
As purveyors of information, journalists are expected to be fearless and objective in their reportage to guarantee their credibility in the public domain. This is the thrust of this year's World Communications Day, with the theme Speaking with the Heart, the Truth in Love as pronounced by Pope Francis. Joel Popola was part of a celebration at the Holy Cross Cathedral of the Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos and now reports.
This is said to be an open wound which can only be healed by the truth. This captures the essence of the practice of journalism and what informed the theme of this year's World Communications Day, which the Catholic Church has been celebrating uninterrupted for the past 57 years. This church service to celebrate men of the pen profession is also an opportunity to remind them of the ethics of journalism, which is hinged on propagating the truth and refraining from hatred, bias and prejudicial statements capable of truncating peaceful coexistence among Nigerians. The Vicar General Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos, Right Reverend Monsignor John Aniagu, used the occasion to pray for God's protection and blessings upon media practitioners as they do their job diligently.
May they never promote hatred or division, but rather God will bring about unity, mutual understanding, harmony in the church and the wider society.
At an interactive session to dissect the theme of this year's World Communications Day, the Vicar General described the theme as symbolic and apt, while the need for journalists not to jettison the truth for parochial interest was emphasized.
If we are going to tell the truth, we should do so in love. We should do so always with respect for our fellow men and women.
The consensus is for journalists to change the country's narrative in line with the theme of the World Communications Day. In Lagos, Joel Ukwola, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Remember that you can still follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. Obehi Utobo Presai is waiting in Benin to give us stories from that zone. After this break, to stay with us.
Welcome to NTA Benin Network Center on Nationwide. The Minister of Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, has expressed optimism that the newly inaugurated Auchi Temporary Passport Office in Edo State will decongest the ever-increasing number of applicants for international passports in the country. The Minister, who stated this in Auchi shortly after the inauguration of the office, also warned applicants against sharp practices. Victor Odion Acha reports.
The Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who was to banned in Auchi by the traditional ruler as the Rafik of Auchi while commissioning the Auchi Passport Office, said the aim of the decentralization is to decongest the number of passport applicants in state capital and make it closer to the people. He disclosed that Auchi is the 6th town in Nigeria outside the state capital to have a passport office, courtesy of a retired Deputy Controller General of Immigration, Mudukbe Ayaichi. The minister, who warned against cutting corners by applicants to get urgent passports, said nowhere on earth one can get passport urgently, added that it takes 6 weeks for an international passport to be produced in Nigeria. He advised applicants to always make payment online and be captured before production in order not to fall into the hands of scammers.
It cannot be compromised by counterfeiters and identity thieves. The reform introduced by the NIS led to the automated passport pickup process, which has eliminated doubts and marketeers in passport administration.
The current passport regime is significant to drive robust service delivery to Nigerians and reaffirms the service resolve to ensure global best practices. The Auchi Passport Front Office being commissioned will serve as a great relief to Edo people who hitherto had to travel from far and near to the only office in the state domicile at the command headquarters in Benin City.
Singularly affirms its interest to be in Auchi and also take the first line in this delivery.
The construction of the permanent passport office in Auchi has been approved and awarded by Edo State government, and work will commence soon. In Auchi, Victor Odion Acha, NTA.
The Oba of Benin, LY II, has appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for appointing him the Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria. The monarch expressed his gratitude when he received top management of the institution on a courtesy visit. Paul Omukago has details.
Oba LY II, who was overwhelmed by his appointment, assured the university of his readiness to put to bear his wealth of experience towards the elevation of the institution to an enviable status.
This is a recognition of the work we have been doing in the recognition of the Benin Kingdom, the cultural ways we have displayed all along, and we want to be able to bring all this to bear.
The visit by the management team of the National Open University of Nigeria is among other objectives to brief the Benin monarch about the academic activities and, of course, the progress the institution has made so far since its inception.
We are in every state of the country. We are even in local governments of certain local governments in this country. We have over 120,000 students in the Royal Majesty. It is the biggest university that the Royal Majesty has been appointed.
The National Open University is a distance learning institution with a core mandate to bring affordable university education to the doorstep of Nigerians. In Benin, Paulo Mukago, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Obey. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, says the Nigerian Army is reinforcing the civil-military cooperation drive to bridge the communication gap between the citizens of Nigeria and the Army. The Chief of Army Staff stated this while inaugurating a maternity center executed by the Chief of Defense Logistics, Nigerian Army at Abuja, Osun State. Femi Fariogun reports.
To ensure that senior officers of the Nigerian Army are connected to their various communities in order to enhance civil cooperation, gave birth to the inauguration of this 10-bedded maternity center with modern equipment at Iragbiji, Boripen local government area of Osun State by Chief of Army Staff, represented by the GOC 2 Division, Ibadan, Major General Usman.
I believe this project will serve the collective needs of the members of this community and its immediate environment. I therefore want to appeal to you to see this project as a symbol of friendship between the Nigerian Army and your community.
I decided to undertake this project as a way of enhancing mother and child care, which is expected to reduce infant mortality rates, and also as a way of boosting the capacity of both the primary and secondary healthcare system of Iragbiji.
And ensure that everything that has to do with sustainability is assured on this project. We are happy, we are excited.
The maternity center will be handed over to Edo State Primary Health Care Board. Femi Alfarigo, NTA News.
To crime fighting, security agencies have resolved to enhance synergy and strengthen partnership with local communities to address increasing cases of environmental crimes in Nigeria. This was part of resolutions at the end of a 4-day Interpol Environmental Crimes Workshop in Abuja. Francis Form reports.
It's been 4 days of brainstorming session amongst security agencies, environmental experts, and regulatory bodies seeking ways of protecting the environment, especially the wildlife. Organized by the Environmental Crimes Units of the Interpol, stakeholders identified lack of synergy amongst the security agencies and poor implementation of existing environmental laws as responsible for the impunity in which loggers, hunters, farmers, and transborder criminals abuse the environment.
As we have learned about how we can interface and interact and combine efforts with the local communities, we are to step out from here to put our knowledge into good use.
I expect a better operational outcome in exactly this common approach of a better communication and coming together and exchanging operational intelligence.
This cannot continue, the participants insist, but advised the war against environmental degradation can only be won if the various security agencies collaborate and traditional institution is brought on board to enlighten their subjects and report defiant ones to law enforcement agencies for prosecution.
We have been able to form a synergy. Everybody has come together and known that we have a common enemy.
For whoever that is arrested, his biometrics will be captured and it will be uploaded into the global database, which means if he lives here and go to Cotonou and is arrested, his status, all information about him and the crime he has committed will be there.
Interpol is carrying out such advocacy workshops in all sectors to rid member countries of all forms of crimes. Francis from NTA News.
And 2 suspects allegedly involved in a criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, attempted homicide, and several other criminal offences have been apprehended by men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Kogi State Command. Francis Udoja reports that the commandant of the Corps, Ahmed Gandhi, while parading the suspects, revealed that they will be taken to court once investigation is concluded.
Bubakar, a 19-year-old panel beater, confessed to had gone out to an unknown destination with one of the alleged prime suspects, known as Hamid, now at large. He further stated that Hamid stopped a motorcycle rider, Musa Zakari, and hit him with a plank, cutting away with his motorcycle and handset.
As he can't stop the man, now he can't dare the man back. I don't first know this man. I can't like say you know him before. Say let me forget. The next thing when I see, he just carry stick. He hit the man.
The state NSCDC commandant Ahmad Gandhi revealed that the command got wind of the incident after the victim, Musa Zakari, recovered from the attack at a hospital. This led to the arrest of the suspect Yakubu Abubakar at Ekiti State and a 23-year-old Isiaq Suleiman in possession of the victim's SIM card.
We want to travel to Ekiti to go and work, so he don't have phone, his phone is lost, so he has to put his SIM in my phone.
Along Ajakuta Road, to be precise, kilometer 18, here in Kogi State. The victim was badly beaten with intent of killing him. Our investigations revealed he was left unconscious. Joining their statements together, doing our intelligence work, we were able to establish that there is a good case for prosecution.
Commandant Ahmad assured that his men will do whatever legal to bring perpetrators of crime to book while going after Hamid, who is said to be at large. From Lokoja, Francis Sudojo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the NDLEA has intercepted a methamphetamine shipment bound for the UK, seizing 30.10 kilograms of drugs worth 567 million. The suspect behind the operation was arrested in Lagos along with a freight agent and a female suspect. The agency also sealed the suspect's Lekki mansion, recovering incriminating documents. In Adamawa State, a notorious drug dealer with a history of arrests was caught with 1 kilogram of skunk, while a trans-border trafficker was apprehended with a truck carrying tramadol destined for Cameroon. The agency's operations extended to other states, resulting in more arrests and drug seizures. You're still watching Nationwide. For more reports, let's join Sulaiman in our Kaduna Network Center. Sulaiman.
Elizabeth, and welcome. Jigawa State Agricultural and Rural Development Agency, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, trained farmers on climate resilient practices to forestall losses and increase productivity. Muhammad Musa Askira has the details.
Agricultural sector are beginning to come to terms with the reality of climate change, which impact has been affecting the nation's legacy economic sector, the agriculture. Agriculture, which is the main and dependable food source in a developing country like Nigeria, is being threatened by climate change manifested in the form of flood, drought, dry spells, early and late arrival of rainy season, among others. These changes have brought along instability in the food production system, throwing farmers into poverty and the country grappling with food insecurity. It is against this background that the Jigawa Agricultural and Rural Development Agency, JADA, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, organized a 2-day emergency training and demonstration of climate-resilient practices in rice production for extension service agents in the Northwest, Northeast, and North Central zones ahead of this year's rain-fed farming.
That is why Federal Ministry of Agriculture deemed fit to train and retrain and refresh them in case if some of them are not applying it, they will keep on using it until we get to the promised land.
Climate resilient is about building their capacity to make them resilient. What it means is that we are trying to see what skills we are going to pass down to them.
Training, is enlightening the farmers how they will be able to, effect changes.
As a result of the flooding we had last year, almost 50 or 80% of our farmers have been affected.
With this training, it is expected that farmers will do better this cropping season from the knowledge, techniques and methods they have learned to avoid being victims of flood disaster and climate-related challenges that bedevil the agricultural sector in the country. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And National Population Commission Jigawa State Office with the development partners engage stakeholders to scale up birth registration coverage through the use of innovation technology to move the state from its current 23% registration level, which is one of the lowest in the country. Ibrahim Bello reports that participants were drawn from religious organizations, traditional institutions, MDAs, core members, and local government chairmen.
Has been described as a major tool for protecting children and their rights, and it is also the legal proof of identity that can help protect children from violence, abuse, and exploitation. In his paper titled Overview of the Current Status of Birth Registration in Nigeria, Director of the Vital Registration Department, National Population Commission, Mr. Matthew Temidayo Sunday said, without legal proof of identity, children are left uncounted and invisible, noting that birth registration has been given great priority in the Sustainable Development Goals. He further advocated the need for religious leaders to include the issue of birth registration in their sermons, while he called on traditional rulers, the media, and other stakeholders to work together in ensuring that the 77% gap in birth registration in Jigawa State is considerably reduced.
To let them know where we are, where we want to be, what are the gaps, what do we need to do to get to where we want to be.
Speakers lamented over the status of Jigawa State as being among the states with low compliance, hence the need for more collaboration to change the narrative.
A new way of registration, which is digital, was piloted. And so UNICEF sat with NPOPC to review that process and look for a way to better improve it.
State government intervention is very important, and therefore we are going to meet with the state government and local government and pursue whatever kind of assistance.
UNICEF declares that about 57% of Nigerian children under the age of 5 do not have birth registration certificate. From Dutse, Ibrahim Bello, NTA News.
More reports ahead in our Jos Network Center with Felicia after the break.
Still on to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong says government would put in place necessary measures to bring an end to the series of attacks in Mangu local government area. He stated this at the palace of Mishkakam Magavul Da John Putman Hirse while leading a delegation on sympathy visits to the area. Yildik Danladi reports.
By Kopubun and adjoining villages in Mangu local government area of Plateau State recently came under attack by unknown gunmen, which led to loss of lives and property. Worried over the attacks, Governor Simon Lalong, represented by his deputy, commiserated with families of victims of the incident.
We sympathize with them. We appreciate their problems, and we also appreciate the problems the security personnel are going through. They are doing their best, and government will continue to provide the necessary instruments for them to carry out their responsibilities.
District heads of the villages affected by Kopmbun, Panyam, Pushit, Mangu as well as Gindri all briefed the delegation on the level of destruction and appeal for government intervention.
I'm having a grandmother's come today. My mom was there, son was there. I pray that they will do something to help those people out.
Meanwhile, the displaced person included women, the aged, children and youths were at the palace of the prominent ruler, Mishkama Mwavul, to express their feelings over the attacks. In Jos, Yildik Danladi, NTA News.
And away from the sympathy visit, Governor Simon Lalong has inaugurated some people-oriented projects initiated and completed by his administration with a call on beneficiaries to ensure maintenance and preservation of the facilities for the benefit of the state. Priscilla Gromnan reports.
The first port of call by Governor Simon Lalong was the General Hospital and Trauma Center, where he inaugurated the 60-bed capacity facility, as well as the water treatment plant, both in Guyom. The governor also flagged off the cotton ginning at the Kuru Ginnery, where the Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Hosea Finangwai, says had been in comatose for about 30 years, and the Plateau State Mineral Development Company for the processing of gemstones and other mineral resources. Lalong Legacy Primary Model School, Bukuru, and the new map erosion control project, all in Jos South, were inaugurated. At the remodeled Nigerian standard, the governor witnessed the production of its newspapers and expresses joy at the newly acquired City Line machine, which has the capacity to produce 40,000 copies per hour. Township Road Network at Polo Roundabout to Rampam Stadium were inaugurated, along the remodeled Nigerian Union of Journalists Press Center, the projects which are focused in the areas of education, security, economy, and the general well-being of the citizenry. The governor says is a demonstration of his administration's desire to leave lasting legacies in the state.
Through the unveiling of this project demonstrated that our administration understands the needs of the people and has done its best to meet them according to available resources.
He expresses appreciation to God for the achievements recorded over the years. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Jos. Is back to Elizabeth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. Improper utilization of insecticide-treated nets by the public against the main purpose of preventing mosquito bites to curb increasing and persistent malaria cases will now be checked in Cross River State. This is part of the 2023 insecticide-treated nets campaign strategies by the team for the ITN distribution, as disclosed during a courtesy visit on the management of the NTA in Calabar. Morim Leo Ajum has details.
Insecticide-treated nets are meant to prevent mosquito bites to curb the ever-increasing malaria cases, which percentage in Cross River State is still alarming. And it is common sight to see people use insecticide-treated nets for various agricultural purposes against its proper usage to the detriment of putting to risk the health status of the people. These reasons, among others, are the campaign strategies going on ahead of the Cross River State 2023 insecticide-treated nets distribution campaign, championed by the National Malaria Elimination Program in partnership with the Cross River State government and development partners like the Breakthrough Action Nigeria. At a courtesy visit with the management of NTA Calabar, the insecticide-treated net distribution campaign team sued for collaboration for wider information dissemination, while reiterating that it is high time the wrong use of insecticide-treated net in Cross River State be brought to check.
Its surveys has shown that use of the insecticide-treated nets in Cross River State is low. Well, the Honorable Commissioner of for Health, Dr. Janet Ekpenyong, has come out to say one of the things they'll be using to combat that is setting up a task force that will help to ensure that beneficiaries in Cross River State use the nets for the right purpose.
If you don't want to go down with malaria, you have to sleep consistently under the net, and the net must be, fixed well.
General Manager NTA Calabar, Kunle Ajibola, who appreciated the team for its good works, promised to ensure NTA take the lead in publicizing activities of the insecticide-treated net distribution campaign to the Cross River State public.
We will always be ready to offer our support. We are there, like he said at the beginning, to inform the generality of our people, to educate them correctly.
The distribution of over 2.79 million insecticide-treated nets to households in Cross River State will commence from 17 to 26 June 2023 upon presentation of e-cards issued during registration of households. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
Election matters, breach of public peace and other unlawful conducts are sometimes experienced during electoral processes, especially in developing countries, including Nigeria. With all of these in view, the National Orientation Agency championed campaigns on peaceful conduct across the country, preparatory to the 2023 general elections. Kenneth Nanim reports that the agency is now in Kano State to analyze post-election activities in the state.
Due to its large population and relevance in the Nigerian political space, Kano State is strategic in the advocacy by the National Orientation Agency for violence-free and credible elections. More than 2 months after the general elections, the calm in the country, and the city of Kano in particular, proves that Nigerians are beginning to trust the judiciary more for redress. With this, the agency appraised Nigeria's democracy as progressive.
We in NOA firmly believe that the campaign against electoral violence is gradually taking root in our society.
The Katukan Kano, who represented the Emir of Kano, and others commended the role by relevant stakeholders in achieving violence-free polls across the country.
All the issues we had to put them on the table and see where we are correct, where we do it right, and where we are wrong, so that we can be able to correct the wrongs.
They also expressed the confidence that decisions by the judiciary will reflect the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians, but warned against acts capable of undermining the court processes. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Let's talk culture. As part of global activities to commemorate the International Tea Day, the Chinese community in Nigeria gathered to celebrate the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The event, which is a cultural salon, had participants who drank a variety of teas to their satisfaction. Juliana Nicholas reports.
Waking up in the morning without having a cup of tea is very rare, and many believe it brings a sense of refreshness. Tea, the most consumable liquid after water, which serves as a symbol of harmony between man and nature. Chinese believe it is a bridge between China and the world. Tea, which originated from China, has been celebrated from generations to create harmonious societies. Many will ask, how has tea become an important commodity in trade with other countries?
2021, China actually were hitting in their own 2.something billion. So what it means is that it's a market that has not been harnessed even by Nigeria at all. So it is something that if you put up together, and then the tea farming industry or the tea farming culture, it's a thing that actually just boosts nations' economies, say just springboard to relevance.
Tea, to me, I look at it as is a unifying something. There's nowhere you plant tea in Nigeria today. Go to Abakaliki today, plant, it will go. Come to Oyo, it will go. Go to North, it will go, because we have good land. So it's high time Nigerians think of what they can do for themselves and then for the country.
We are, bigger countries with vast fertile land. And in China, many farmers plant tea. And I think in Nigeria, in the future, you can also have a beautiful land to plant tea, to make tea. And two countries can use tea as a very common commodities to improve the volume of the trade between our two countries.
The Chinese tea generally represents tea leaves, which comes in different colors, like the green, yellow, white, black, and many more. As a lover of tea, I will advise that you have a taste of them all, as I couldn't resist not giving a try to some variety, some which I have never had before. In Abuja, Juliana Nicholas, NTA News.
Thank you, Juliana, for that report. And that ends Nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Enjoy your evening.